Convenience Store News' POV series, where we share perspectives on the current issues and trends that are shaping the C-store industry. Today, we're joined by Adam Marcus, General Manager of Brand Equity at Citgo, to discuss how retailers can evaluate potential fuel partners in a way that leads to better long-term outcomes. Adam, thanks so much for being here with us.
Thanks for having me, Linda. I'm really excited about being here today.
So to start, do you think some retailers stay with a fuel brand longer than they should, and why?
Yes, many retailers stay put out of habit, comfort, or fear of disruption. Fuel brands often run quietly in the background, so if nothing seems broke, it's really easy to avoid change, even when there's operational friction, unpredictable cost structures, weak brand support that are slowly eroding the retailer's performance. Some retailers also assume that certain brands guarantee better outcomes, but long-term success usually comes down to the relationship after the contract is signed. That's where Citgo stands out. We have flexible programs and our partnership mindset that focuses on the retailer's success.
So when choosing a fuel brand, what do you think most retailers either overestimate or underestimate?
Retailers often overestimate brand familiarity and upfront incentives, which can fade quickly once real-world costs, reliability issues, or hidden fees start to appear. They often underestimate the value of predictability, simplicity, and responsive support. These are areas where Citgo constantly and consistently differentiates ourselves. Our clear programs and dependable operations matter far more over the long-term life of the contract than any early incentives.
And, there's this perception that switching fuel brands is disruptive. But what does the process actually look like today?
Well, it can be disruptive with some brands, but at Citgo, our process is structured and supported. We have an in-house brand management image team that works directly with distributors and retailers to set timelines, define responsibilities, and minimize the downtime. Most retailers are very surprised by how manageable this transition is with Citgo and how quickly a renewed, refreshed, well-lit Citgo branded location drives customer response and profitability.
And so for a retailer who is starting to think about their next contract today, what's the one thing you would recommend they do differently?
They should start early. They should evaluate options objectively. They should think about what doesn't feel familiar. They should treat their branding opportunity as an operational decision and not a last-minute contract renewals. Retailers that prioritize predictability, ease of doing business, and long-term performance trends tend to make more confident decisions, and often find that Citgo aligns best with how they actually run their business.
Those are great pointers.
Thanks.
In your experience, when retailers look back on their best partnerships, what tends to stand out? And then conversely, what tends to go wrong in weaker ones?
Great partnerships are defined by responsiveness, clarity, and fairness. Long-term Citgo retailers consistently highlight that we're quick with answers, we provide reliable support, and we cooperate within the relationship. In weaker partnerships, retailers often recall being surprised, having operational friction, lack of support, and these issues tend to make running their business harder over time.
And we're hearing that more retailers are evaluating fuel brands earlier than they used to. Sure. What do you think is driving that shift?
There's a litany of answers to that, but let me address a few. The retail landscape is getting more complex. The rising cost to operate, the tighter margins in the convenience store business, tougher competition are pushing retailers to seek more predictability. Waiting until a contract is nearly expired forces the retailer to rush into a decision. By evaluating earlier, it helps the retailer compare a lot of critical items like fuel quality, loyalty programs, pricing structure, and brand support. More strategically, they need to choose partners like Citgo that help them align with their long-term needs.
Great. Well, Thank you, Adam, for those wonderful insights. And thanks again for joining Convenience Store News and sharing your perspective on this important topic.
Thanks for having me, Linda. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you this afternoon.